Alright, hello. How is everybody doing? Good morning, Grim Draco. Hello there, Citrus. How are you guys? What's happening? Alright, so I was going to do some career gameplay, but we have a bunch of deadlines here for stuff that needs to be done for challenges. So we worked on this boat a little bit for Alistair's challenge. Let's keep working on these. Alright, let's get in here. So we worked on the buoy system, which is going to be the part of the actual kind of science on the vessel. And let's see, what do I need to do? Yeah, so we got a room in here. I need to plumb in here. Trying to decide the best way to cut and segment. Probably going to try to segment square rooms the best I can, I would say. So let's probably start working on that first. It's going to add a lot of blocks, but it'll be all right. So I want to keep, because this is, you know, higher weight, I want to keep this up as much as I can. So let's go ahead. And then for purposes of performance, we'll add a physics flutter. A better place to put it. Let's not put it there. That's likely to turn into something I need to dick with. Stick it right here is fine. So physics flutter just turns it into one room, essentially. Reason I'm using the half blocks is they weigh half. Nope, that's a physics sensor, not a physics flutter. Let's look at blocks real quick. I want to see weight-wise. I don't know what this person was saying. Some person made comments. I finally just blocked them. That was pretty silly, just picking at videos. But I was trying to see what. Looking at some of the masses on some of these. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. This person, I don't know. They were picking on one of my videos, saying that you know, steel track extensions they do the same thing. It's like they weren't understanding the whole point of using the wedges. The wedges are half the weight. So again, people commenting on videos that they have no clue what the purpose of the video is. Very interesting. All right, let's see. A segment in here like that. That'll give us a couple of rooms, and then we can cut some more. Probably we'll finish out the bow there. Like that, and we'll trim out this section here. I'll figure that out. But that squares up a couple rooms there. See if I can bring up the actual thing. So Draco made a couple fishing boats this week. Can't see your screen, buddy. Okay, yeah. Yeah, again, generally it's on your end or it's on Twitch's or YouTube's. It's not me. All right, let's see. Let me pull up. Let me remember what the hell I was doing. Let's grab the little info thing from the from Damon. Bring that up. 9 out of 10 times, if there's something wrong with the video, it is on your end. It's not mine. Alright, here's the pot fisher. Gotta look at some of the rooms here. Alright, so there's the bridge level. This is the main deck level here. Might be able to get some segmented beds in there. It's mostly living quarters in here, so we'll plan on that. And then down below, I have no clue what the hell this is. It could be, I wonder if they're doing fish processing inside of this. A lot of companies had switched to like a fish processing system where they're actually like packaging on board. That way, that when they get to the get to port, they can just offload. So we'll have to see. But again, we'll figure out what we want to do with all these levels here. Alright, so let's see. We need a staircase down. Kind of tough with 2 doors here. Put a proper staircase down. I don't like doing... do not like doing ladders if I can avoid it. we'll have to see what I want to do there. Might be able to get one here. Let's see. I'm probably going to hit my head if I do that. I need at least 2, so let's stop with the symmetry bullshit there. Let's do that. Got a mid-room, but I can put something under the staircase. I doubt that's going to work. Probably hit your head on this. These staircases are such a pain in the ass. Alright, that's there. We could turn and make the other side on this. Let's walk down that real quick, see what that looks like. You can see already that adding that weight in the bow needs to be readjusted. Yep. You know, IRL, you'd have really steep staircases in here, and it's kind of annoying that we don't have any. So you need quite a bit, and then I really don't have tons of real estate in here for that. I don't want to remove the door. I like the dual doors. Let me see. Yeah, the bridge has... Okay, the doors and the bridge, one of them is back more. So this door is back more. Let's do that, because I'm actually looking at the real one. The door is actually here. Let's try that. Kind of give it a little bit of cool asymmetry. Try the door there. What was this? Okay, that's just the door there. Okay, we'll do that. Stop it, please. Thank you. Alright, that's good. And then... see if I can push this off a hair. Alright, there we go. Stop. Stop, stop, stop right there. It's kind of weird, wonky, weird, a little bit. The helm like that, but we'll see what we can do. They want to put a vert here. Make this work. Check that. Make sure they can move around there well. Yeah. Jump on in. That feels cozy and comfortable. That all works. Out. In. Yep. Alright, that's fine. We can make that work. It's probably about 2 or 3 blocks in there on that. Stop, come on. I'll just move the helm to one side too. I don't need a central helm on this. See if that works. Yep, that works. I could probably even come a little bit this way if I needed to, but let's see what we can do. I could also XML in there. Be a little weird to have an off-centered helm, but let's put it like that. See what happens if I do this. You can just carry it on. Scouts here. Push that helm up too. Do that, I think. Yeah, we still got enough overhead space there, so I think we'll be alright pushing this up. Pretty good there. Put some side stuff down here if we need to. Plenty of overhead space there. What can I cut out of here? Nothing. Okay, good. Alright, that'll work out. I need that, right? I need that cover there? Yeah, I need that cover right there. Okay. Alright, that works. Alright, good. That works out fine. Alright, so that's down to this level here. And then what do we have? What can we put over there? just looking the level below that. Probably use stacking staircase. I tend to do just because it's the most space efficient thing to do. Let's see, if I do it this way, I don't have the space to do it any other way, really. I could do... Let's try this. Can I put it here? Yes. Okay, that's where it's gonna go then. All right. That's right up against the wall anyways, might as well use that space. Ugh, I'm gonna double this wall up if I do that. I can't go one over on this. Yeah, listen, not right now. Okay, yeah, I actually have to go one more over. I can't though. I'd have to do it one forward too. Let's go cut, move, forward. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it'd have to be there. I gotta put a segmenting wall in between anyway. Takes up a lot of space there. Not too bad though. Alright, let's get to put chat here. How's it going there, Alistair? How are you? Garrett, hello. Rotate 90, what are you talking about? Hello, Zachy, how are ya? Hello, hello, hello. Alright. What's this? Oh, fuel tank right there, okay. That is a fuel tank right there. Can I cut that fuel tank a little bit? Could if I needed to. Alright. Now we can also continue it up to here if I need to, which I probably won't, but could do it. Alright. Okay, physics ladder goes there. We got our staircase in here. So I'm gonna probably push the CG back more. How did that not get painted? Push the CG back some here. See how we float. Okay, so I probably want to push some of that fuel backward. Gotta be careful with the fuel. Let's see where CG is gonna be. We'll start pushing back more though. Get some stuff in here. If only at parsimmetry, it'd be easier. Alright. Pull quite a bit out of there. Let's go. I don't know what I had in here for fuel. Let's see. Needs some sort of fuel chamber, but it doesn't have to be that big either. Got a big lump of fuel sitting too far forward, frankly. Probably should wait on the fuel tanks until get a little bit more done in here. Definitely have to go. That's just a vent. We'll take care of that later. Alright, let's run that without the fuel tanks and see what happens. That wall got built. I did not want it to be built. Check this now. Without the fuel in there. There's a lot of fuel in there. Okay, good. It's getting better. Get in the workbench, please. Hello, 23. How are you? Only had symmetry on. Oh Christ, I still forgot to turn on. So much asymmetrical stuff to do. 15. Alright, good. So we're starting to get there. See if I can. Okay, there we go. We're leveling out now. Not too bad. Alright, it's starting to straighten out. Alright, good. Take a break on leveling for now. Trying to get the rooms at least kind of figured what I want to do with them. Take a break from this after that, but let's see. Probably put a couple staterooms in here and then use these as kind of like almost like closets or whatnot for that sort of stuff. Oh, stop. Whatever that was. There we go. Couple of rooms there. We can build that into a cabinet. That will work. And this. Okay. Good. Not that I really care about multiplayer, but if this is all tuned for multiplayer, but it's a reasonable habit to get into anyway. Rooms are segmenting pretty well now. figure out the rest of the rooms here. Alright, so there's the staircase. Staircase should probably get a wall here. Symmetry. The devil. Symmetry, the devil. Alright, there we go. And this needs a, this one's gonna be interesting to get that. We gotta see where this is gonna go. Let's put this as a closet here. That way this can continue to wherever it needs to. That's gonna be probably a pain in the ass at the moment. If that will work. That segments those pretty well. If I put a door there, we're gonna be in trouble. Yeah, I can't really put a door there. Alright. It's kind of a weird short room if I do that. Let's see what I have to cut out of here. This is the 4x right there, so. Oh, come on. Put a closet or something there. Leave this room open a little bit. See what I can get in there for stateroom stuff. Yep, there's a 2 walkway, which isn't all I need. Alright. Door. Where the hell's the door gonna go? Ugh. That's no good. Definitely don't have the space I have in the real one. And then we can put in like paint blocks there. We can put in a cabinet here. Something like that will work. Alright. Alright, that fixes that room up a little bit. Alright, so there's a couple sleeping quarters there. gotta decide on some more rooms here. Need to get in and out of this area here. That is in one of the voids right there. I'm gonna cut a hole in this void and make it useful. This one over here is in the staircase. Oh, that void I don't want to move. Let's check up the chat here. Righty. Let's see. Actually, what we'll do is we'll cut this void. I can't cut. I can't cut there. Okay. This here. What the fuck? Yeah, that's a mess if I put that like that. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit of better floor space there. Up to that. All right, let's see. That's down. Okay, and in. Good. Engine rooms in here. I need at least 2 in front of the crank to get around. That works. Alright, where's my pink block here? I think I blocked it out. Shit. I gotta get a count in anyway. $90 is the max. So I want that to be 89 to there. Oh, are we over? Gotta count. Oh, that's correct. Okay. Get a count. 91. I gotta cut it. Cuts the boat. The boat is too big. Let's cut it. Shit. Where are we gonna cut this? That's the real question. It's not easy to cut. Stand the gen up, I guess. Shit, I gotta move a lot of plumbing if I do that. I gotta move a lot of plumbing if I do that. I gotta trim some of the boat here. Can I move this internal wall? Yeah, I can. Okay. That's fine then. All right, I gotta trim a block off of this. Let's cut here and see what that does. I think we're good if I do that. Yeah. Let's check it again. Can I just drag one straight line here? Come on, stop with the fucking plane. Just go one straight line. Thanks. I love when it does that. It really is obnoxious. 90. Okay, there we go. Alright, that is now back on spec where it needs to be. Alright, good. We can move that wall, kind of. Shit, this is going to be a mess if I do that, I guess. Figure this out. Yeah, I like having a limit. Like, you know, it was funny. So, like, I was reading some of the comments on your channel, Alistair, and I was like, it'd be nice if it was like 123. It's not like it's like 95. It's like 120. It's like, dude, that's a huge difference. Like, that's like, it's arbitrary too, you know? Just completely arbitrary. It's like the number is just where the number is gonna be. It's like build it to where it needs to be. You know? I don't get it. Do not get it. Alright, that'll work there. Ah, that's what it is, okay. Could even go one back more than that, but I don't think I need to. You know, no matter, like, literally with challenges, no matter what you set the limit to, people are gonna try to be like, can it be this? Can it be this? Like, nah. No matter what, like, the limitation is, people are gonna try to get around it. You know, if it was 80 blocks, they'd be like, can we get 100 blocks? And then if it was, you know, 100 blocks, they'd be like, can we get 150 blocks? It's just, like, set a limit, and that's what it is. Go. And the that makes the plumbing's not too bad. This off now? The fuck? What is this? Oh my god, I can't see what I'm doing here. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that was right then. Okay. There we go, and then that matches back up. Alright. This needs to move here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on, who did that? Come on. Can't see anything what I'm doing here. There we go. Alright, there we go. Yeah, it's the limitations that make a build challenge, and it's like when people complain about that stuff, it's like that's exactly the point. Is you have a restriction and you're trying to work within a restriction. It's what the challenge part of the build challenge is, and people don't get that often. I don't understand it. That is what is challenging. Conforming to the restrictions. All right, that is all set there, and then we just need to move this pipe here. I've got to redo anyway. I gotta figure out where the fuel's gonna go. And so that's back within specs on that. How's my CG looking? Still that direction. One thing I was thinking of doing is this. Like that. Where's it go up to anyway? Right there. Yeah. Is all in line? It looks like it is. Okay, that's in line. One, 2, 5. That might be tall. Let's look how tall this is here. That's pretty tall. Like 1x3 hopper pieces would be nice. That way you can kind of manually create it however you wanted it. What do we get? 3 down on that. Cut out the 2 segment here, I guess. Center done. Okay. Fuck, I missed. I missed. Yeah, space. Final frontier. Oh, yeah. I like the Damon Multicat. I've started work on one. I never finished it. Right, we got port. That would be one of the reasons we have a problem, is right there. Let's fix that. Actually, that should probably be. Let's wedge that. No, it should be full blocks. Alright, that's fine. That didn't get merged. Switcher wasn't on. Awesome. See how it does now with that merged where it should be. So port list, okay, copy. We'll likely need some sort of moving weight, which is going to screw things up for the crane. Gotta go in this spot here, frankly. Those are fours, those are four bangers, okay. Let's do this as a moving weight. I gotta go up one on this to make it work. Gotta be in this area here. I guess that could stay where it was. Okay, so put the moving weight in there on a track segment here, I would say. Cut this? No, I can't cut their balls. It'll be difficult, aren't you? Let's see. Can't be there, nope. Cut into the wall, though. Can cut into the wall, though. Yeah. Let's go up one. Screw it. I'm gonna have a crane on this, so I need to be able to counterweight the crane correctly. This will help with everything else anyway. Alright, this please, thanks. Let's do a weight on measuring this weight here. So we're at 14,131. Probably likely going to want to fill the starboard side with some mass. Counteract all the asymmetry on there. That's good there, alright. Alright, that's fine, and then I have to cover it because of the, just cover it in pink. I have to cover it because of the physics flutter in here. That would be ugly. Don't want moving pieces where there's a physics flutter. You really do not. Alright, let's see. That's good there. Did I save a copy of the stability? No. No, I didn't. Shit. Keep meaning to do it and I keep not doing it. So. My latest boat that I used it on was probably the fishing boat, I'd say. How's it going there, Trippa? How is ya? I saw you playing 2 games this morning, Trippa. Amazing. Alright. Let's see. Weight. Directions the weight facing, first and foremost. Solid left. Alright, solid left. this controller and then the counterweight. I want both of those. So. Left on the weight. Hollow. Hollow. Okay, good. Hollow, hollow. That's good. Left hollow, hollow. Find the weight, find the weight, find the weight. Christ, if I could find it, we'd be in great shape here. Okay, good. That's correct. Alright, good. There's the line right there, so let's go. Put this to channel 1 for now. What is that? What am I doing with 1? Oh, 1 switches the gears. I don't need that anymore. Already got it geared in where I want it. Alright, bow fins are easy on this one because they can go in the tunnel in here. At least do 2 rows. Yeah, we can at least do 2 rows, I guess. I'm gonna go do a quick coffee break and I'll be right back. Alright, I am returned. Let's see. Alright, let's get to the chat real quick. Yeah, I'll see you later, Alistair. How's it going, 23? Alright, let's see. We gotta get these fins in here. Let's pull this for now. Okay, so let's see if that's enough. What the hell's in the way of a fin? Is that blocking one fin now? It is. Okay, that's fine. Do that fin there. No, let's not. There we go. Alright, good. So that's the bows. Let's see, I already did this. So I'm gonna paint that. What I want to do for stern fins. Oh, get symmetries off again. Let's see, I might just leave them visible. Grow it. I think that's fine. This shouldn't need all that much stability help anyway. It was pretty damn stable last time I tested it. There we go. All right. I got 5 aside. I got back here 6s. Okay, good. All right, that's good. Let's see. Where's the center point? CG's right there in this wall. That is actually really helpful. Right there, perhaps. All right. That is counterweight slider there. Let's go ahead, composite. Okay, and then this. All right, good. Sure, everything's plugged in. All right, good. So that should work all that stuff. All right, likely that is likely something going on with a physics flutter and a moving object. So it could be the weight. I have to check that. That's generally what it is. So make sure there's not a hole in here somewhere where it can misbehave. It's just we'll do process elimination. We'll do that. See if that's it. That's it right there. So it's physics flutter in the rear. Gotta I'll figure out where the hole is in there. That's nice. Very well balanced at the moment. See, the values are off, but it's very well balanced now. So that's good. That's good. So let's go take it for a quick spin, make sure it's still behaving itself. Getting good game volume off the whole time. See if I can do a better job of hiding those fins. They do kind of stick out. I should be able to XML them into the skeg in the back. Alright, let's kick the wind up, see how it works. Some wind with the wind. Getting like... See, we're getting crossed waves? What the fuck is that? Look at that. See, we're getting crossed waves. That's interesting. Huh. It's like almost like the wind's coming from two different directions. That's weird. That's very weird. That's really working really well. Alright, good. So no issues with that. Stability system's going well. Alright, I gotta figure out what the physics flutter deal is here. Let's go ahead and we're gonna see where this is letting the physics flutter come out. Because I'd like to put one in here. Where in the hell? Why doesn't it like where the physics flutter? Well, it's got to be... the only thing that's moving is the... Well, let's put it here. See if it's still acting up. Yep. Okay, so that's definitely... There's a hole somewhere in there that's meeting to a place where we have a moving object. I don't see it. That's why I put the pink blocks there. That's the whole reason the pink blocks are there. Quite literally the entire reason the pinkies are there. Let's grab merge tool and look for a hole. I see nothing. That's interesting. What's that about? That could be cut. Okay. Probably doesn't like here where the pivot is. So I could... Where the altimeter need to be? I'll stick the altimeter in the hull, I think, right there. Okay. And then I'll put a regular... Let's do a couple cover blocks here just to be certain. Alright, let's try that with the physics flutter now. I gotta rehook the altimeter up. Alright, so yeah, it was definitely right there where the pivot was. It didn't like that. Alright. Nope, doesn't like something in there. What the fuck is this physics flutter doing? Doesn't like something in there. Interesting. Let's do another row. I can't imagine it's interacting with that weight. Try it again. Yeah, doesn't like that. Come on, get in the workbench, dickhead. That's interesting. I can't figure out what the hell is it interacting with. Nothing in there. Up, it is in here. It's right there is where it can get through. I got you. That's it. Right there. Alright. That will do it. Alright, there we go. That will do it. Alright, and then this should be able to be cut. That's where it was. Alright. Yep, that looks to be it. Alright, so likely the weight needs some PID tuning, but that's alright. Making some progress here. Making some solid progress. Let's save that up. So here, let's look at F2 real quick. Yeah. So you see that big blue block? That's the physics flutter right there. That's what it's doing. It's filling that whole zone with one. It's like somebody put in my videos and like, oh, do they, the wagers are causing problems. It's like, that's what the physics flutter's for. Alright, there we go. Let's see. How much more I want to work on this build right now. I got plenty of time. It's not really feeling C stuff at all. I really not been wanting to work on C-based stuff. I think what I'm going to do is cut here. Did I just try to shut off symmetry and I keep fucking it up? Curious what I'm gonna need to do in this crane. Let's save this and I'll take a break from this build. Let's not do that one. Let's do this one. Let's do that. Alrighty. See if I want to work on something. Probably gonna do a ladder here, I guess. So let's do. Alright, you suck. It's gotta be here then. Can I get a staircase up there? I don't know. Let me look. Probably iffy to get a staircase up there. I think even in the brochure it shows that this has a ladder, not a staircase, but. I think I'm leaning more towards ladder myself. So it's really nice and stable now. Bridge. Bridge. Nice, nice, nice. That's like if you actually want to use a staircase to get up, you can use this. You can also go down here, through here. So good flow on this ship. Stateroom. Stateroom. Alright. So the lab room will go somewhere in here. So probably put like, I don't know, a kitchenette or something here where I can kind of work these angles in the wall. Maybe finish the wall there and then put counters in here where I can do paint blocks. It needs the lab. So, try to decide if I want to put it all the way downstairs, or what I can do is there's storage out here for it's pot storage underneath. Fucking hell, get up the hill. There we go. Keep trying to get around the corner. I can't. There's this room here, and there's this little room here. So what I might do is an entrance into there. Let's try that, see what that looks like. Where are we at here if I cut that wall? Right in the staircase. That's terrible. That's an exterior room only then, okay. That's fine. And then what's in here? Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll cut some doors in here. Alright, so that's the two entrances. So maybe we'll do the lab in one of these rooms for now, and then it'll change when it's the pot fisher, but that's kind of what that's looking like, I'm thinking. I didn't mean for that to open in, but I gotta flip it. Alright, so yeah, we'll make this the lab, I think, over here. I'll make this just like general storage and what? Yeah. Alright, good. So that's that. So only one more stateroom and needs to sleep 3 total. So we'll figure out where we want to put that. I might put down here as a kind of a chief engineer's room down here somewhere. I think that's what I'll probably end up doing. Give me a little more space on that. Hello, Sergeant. How are you? How are you? I gotta duck into fuel here a little bit at some point. I'm gonna go ahead and save. We'll take a break from this. But yeah, that's coming along. Let me double check Alistair's Discord for the time and the date of when it's due. Yeah, I'll 11 days. Yeah, so there's plenty of time. It's like it functionally works. The crane is quick. I can even pull other cranes off other builds. That's not a big deal. Got you know, it's sailing fine. I don't have any issues with stability or anything I have to worry about. Those can take up some time to fix. I don't have to worry about any of that. That's all good as far as I'm concerned. Don't have any issues with that. Generally, I like the shape and the look of it. I like the performance of it. I like the fact that it's going to be able to be transformed into something else later. I like the asymmetry of it. You know, I'm hoping the devs will do pot fishing. We'll see what they end up with. But yeah. Mass, I'm going to pull all the mass components off something else. So those are all, I already have microcontrollers for all that, so that's not a big deal. Yeah, so I shouldn't have any problems with this, really. Take a quick pic of it. Stability's working really nicely here with the weight. The thing is, we're not going to be lifting super heavy stuff. You know, so the weight is not incredibly heavy. I think it's like 300 something mass. The weight's not incredibly heavy, but it's you know, the mass we're picking up is not going to be much. I can't imagine the pots are going to be much, and the pots aren't going to be much. Plus, the lever arm's pretty short, you know, in relation. So we'll see where it ends up, but it should be pretty good. Jesus Christ! Enter Discord. Oh my God! Click enter 3 times on Discord, and it doesn't want to do shit. Alright, that's good. Let's get off this build for a little while. I don't know how long I'm going to stream this game. I might switch up games in a little bit here. We'll see. Kind of still not feeling a ton of stuff. In stormworks. Once I gotta get bitten by a build I want to work on, I do it. I'm not feeling C-based stuff at all, so that's why I'm kind of not pouring myself on the challenge. Curious if I can fix the ADF system at some point and get that going where I want it to. The problem is I don't see what the issue is with it. So. Alright, so this is up and running well, this build. Let's maybe segment some stuff out of here. I don't know. I don't know what I want to work on, if I want to work on anything. What am I building now? I was just finishing up the build for Alistair's challenge. Let's hook up a couple things. I might get off of this and play some Ark or do something else. I don't know. Let's go ahead and check the flaps on this. I don't want to dig into this build. Let's look at the ADFs real quick. I can't see where the ADFs were causing any problems. You know, it could have just been by having too many add-ons going, but... So this is the way the ADFs used to work. They were just shacks. You put them at the different airports. God, get out of here, door. And so all it really does is it has a GPS connection, and it sends the GPS connection out, and it transmits on the antenna on a certain radio frequency that you would set. So like your 635, and so it's got where its GPS coordinates are, and then it broadcasts via the antenna what its current GPS coordinates are, so that you know, it's as though you're homing in on the antenna like you would IRL. But I was having a SV environment problem. It might not have even been the ADFs. It could have been something different. So it very well could be something different. Cause that, because I would like here. I'll show you what the bearing panel looks like now. So like the bearing panel was much better before. Let's work on that a little bit. That will actually interest me. Let's do the orange helo. So like if we look at the bearing panel, I kind of cheated. People like telling me I should do this from the beginning, which I don't want to do it. I want to, you know, there's a number of reasons from normal pilotage. So so what you would normally do is this you type in the frequency in the bearing panel. All right, so you type the frequency in the bearing panel, and then it reads that frequency. And then all you do is all this is stored airports. I shouldn't need to do this. I don't want to do this. That's a RNAV system. I don't want to make an RNAV system. I want to make an ADF system. And so the ADF system actually reads, and there's a number of reasons why. It starts to base it off the size and the equipment on the aircraft, which is actually... Did I not paint that? Which is actually interesting to me. I want to make sure I have the latest version of the helo, because I thought I painted that. I did not. Fucking hell, man. How did I not paint this? That door. Get rid of that door. All right. Let's see. Let me just double check a couple things real quick. All right. This is the good version. All right. So the way this should work is you have a huge antenna on the ADFs. So if we bring up one of the ADFs. So like we bring up the ADF, it has a huge antenna on it. So the huge antenna has a range of 20 kilometers. So if you took two huge antennas, they can read out 40 kilometers from one another. So you can read 40 kilometers and navigate to the shack. All right. And so if we look at the map, try to find 40 kilometers. That's 80 kilometers, so about 50% of that, maybe there. That's getting close here. So probably right on there. So right there, we could read, if the ADF was there, we could navigate that far with one shack. So we could navigate to a maximum of that. Now, once you get over 40, it's going to have trouble reading the station. And so what you'll start to do is you'll start to get signal loss. And so with signal loss, you have to start worrying about moving on to the next station. When you have the GPS system, you don't need to worry about that. And that's, you know, what people kept being like, oh, just use GPS. Like, that's exactly the opposite of the point. The point is to lose the station, so you actually, as a pilot, have to prepare for this. Now, that's with two huge antennas. All right. Now, if you put on a small antenna on your vehicle, so like, you know, some of my aircraft, for example, I want a small antenna on because they're small. So like, you take an RX small, that's a 100-meter range plus 20. So that's 20 kilometers plus 100 meters. And so that essentially you can navigate to 20 kilometers. So let's say that's probably close. A little bit further. So that right there is about as far as I could navigate if my aircraft had a small antenna. So in order for me to get up to this next station, I would have, or for me to get to this station, I can't read it from that far, but I can read this station. So I would head from here to here, and then I would pick up this station and then move on. And so it actually made you have to navigate like a pilot, where instead of just GPS and straight line everywhere you go, you actually had to follow ground position systems. And then when you're going up to the Arctic, Dremore had its own station. So one thing is you can navigate in opposition to the station you're leaving. So if the course you want to go, let's say we take two stations. Let's say there's a station here and there's a station here. Let me see. I'll do something real quick. Let's take a picture of this. All right, we'll bring it into Paint. You know, and this is the kind of stuff I like doing with aviation. I like the navigation part of it. So it's like it defeats the purpose, as far as I'm concerned, to not actually navigate for me. That's part of the enjoyment. So like, so here is like, let's say there's a station here, right? So let's go. Okay. Let's say there's a station here, and there's one at Dremore, okay? And then let's go ahead and I'll bring up the compass rose. All right, so here's the compass rose. And so you draw a straight line from point A to point B. And we'll draw that out. All right, so you're going to go from point A to point B. So on your chart, you would draw the line. All right, and then you would take your compass rose, and you put your compass rose on the departure point there. All right, you would zoom in, and you would look, and you'd see that that is a 3, 4. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they're what are they? 2 per. Looks like 2 per. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. So it would be 342, 44, and about 346. So you're heading out of here. Your bearing out of here would be 346. But because you're leaving the station at Dremore, it would be opposite. So 346 would be a 166. So you yeah, 166. So you would be leaving with the needle pointing 166. So you'd make sure your ADF needle was pointed at 166. So as I'm leaving Dremore, I want to maintain a 166 bearing. because I'm navigating away from the station. And so let's say I have a short antenna on my my helicopter or whatever. I can only go for 20 kilometers. So let's say that's to here. So I would maintain the 166 course outbound until I lose signal from the station. Now, I can only pick this station up 20 kilometers away. Let's say there's a gap. This is how, when you do transcontinental flight nav, not so much anymore, like you have GPS now, but before, you would lose all the signals. And so you would have to maintain the course using inertial nav or something else until you picked up the signal again. So there's going to be a dead zone in between. So at some point in this area here is no man's land, where you're not getting the signal from this station and you're not getting the signal from this station anymore because you're too far away. So what you would do is, once the signal dies, you maintain a 166, and then you put in the frequency for this one and you wait until you pick it up. Once you pick this one up, you want to make sure you're on course. So the way you find out you're on course, now we're going on the 2 course. So we put this on there like that. And then we scroll in and we look and we have a 16246. 166, right? That's what I just said is the outbound course. So now your inbound course is a 166. It's a reciprocal course. So you'd be doing 166 outbound, and then you'd be doing 166 inbound. And now you pick up your new course and you navigate to the next point. If you had 2 huge antennas, the likelihood is this is within 40 kilometers. You could... and some of this is actually simulating game pretty well with signal strength. For example, if I'm leaving from Dremore and I can pick this station up, some people would say, oh, well, why don't you just tune in this frequency? The problem is, the further you are from the station, the less accurate it is. So what you want to do is you actually want to do the outbound course. You do the same thing, but the difference being that you would never lose signal, because if this is within 40 kilometers, you'd never lose signal. And then at the 50-50 point, you would switch from this one to this one because this one's more accurate, and then you'd follow the course in. So that's why I like doing that system. I like the GPS. Doesn't interest me all that much because it's easy. It's a piece of cake. It requires no input from you, and that's boring as far as I'm concerned. So this is how you really do navigation, doing this sort of thing. And so you plot your course, you follow your bearing out, you follow your bearing in, you have a dead zone if you don't have the reach. So like some of my big airplanes have huge antennas. Like let's say that you were going from Dremore all the way up to Tajan, right? So I've done this before. Let's go, and we'll just sit there for a second. And then the other thing too is with these stations, I can do actual instrument approaches instead of having to fake them all the time. So here is this one. So let's say we have a huge antenna on both. So that right there, that's too far, right? So let's see. Shipbreaker is here. So that's Shipbreaker. That's about perfect. So that's 88 kilometers away, right? So if I have a big airplane with a huge antenna, I can now pick up a station at 40 kilometers. I will take the Dremore course out for 40 kilometers. In the middle, there's going to be about an 8-kilometer dead zone between the two. So I head out on this course, and then in the middle, I've got an 8-kilometer dead zone. So for 8 kilometers, I have no signal. I put in the new one, and then when I pick it up, I go to Shipbreaker, and then I have one at Tajan, and that's what I'm going to be doing the instrument approach on. Was right there on my ADF system, so I make a right turn. I join the course into the Tajan ADF, and then I make an ADF approach. So you can go in with 100% fog. Not quite. Yeah, but I think I can get about 100% fog. Let me turn on 100% fog. I'll try to show you like what a real approach would be. So like here, let's see. That is probably about 200. That's probably about 200 feet right there. Yeah, it's probably about 200 feet right there. Let's throw in some fog here. All right, so this is actually less foggy than it would be IRL in conditions where we would land. So I'm probably at like, I don't know, 300-400 feet now. So if you're coming into the airport and you can see the approach lights, you're allowed to go down to 100 feet. So let's say that's 100 feet, maybe that. So let's say that's 100 feet. Well, I can see the airport. I can see the runway. I can land. And so even in 100% fog in the game using instrument approach, basic instrument approach, I can come and land at any airport using this system. So I could take off like this, go in the soup all the way to the Arctic, and land using a very basic navigation system. And that's interesting to me. Yeah. Do you build for fun or for mission per both? No, I'm doing ADF. I don't. VOR, I'd need to do a bunch of Lewis stuff probably. It's ADF. ADF's different. I'll quickly see if I can find. So ADF is essentially, back in the day, ADF's one of the older navigation systems, and so ADF was, it was based off of AM radio stations to start with. And so what they would do is, let's say that you have Holt, right? All right, here's Holt, or I'm sorry, Olsen Bay. Here's Olsen Bay. Let's say Olsen Bay has a AM radio station, right? AM 500 Olsen Bay. And they play music and they do the news and all that shit. So at Olsen Bay, they have a radio station, an AM radio station. And then let's say that Holt Town has an AM radio station. And let's say that the fishing village has an AM radio station. Okay, so all these different places have AM radio stations. So I would leave Dremore and I would tune in an actual AM radio station. And one of the reasons why AM radio stations do the identifier where they say this is Olsen Bay 500 playing the oldies, and they have to do it quite often. The reason they do that is for airplanes. Was back in the day, you would take off from Dremore, you'd tune in the AM radio station to Olsen Bay, and you would turn on the music, and you'd wait for the identifier, and the DJ would say, "This is Olsen Bay 500." You'd know you'd be on the right frequency. The needle would point directly at Olsen Bay. So as you go south, the needle stays pointing at Olsen Bay. This is different than a VOR. As you go further south, the needle's going to go further north as it maintains pointing at Olsen Bay. So as you go down, it stays up. And then what you'll do is you'll turn and you'll go directly to the needle. And so you would leave Dremore, you would head directly to Olsen Bay. And then if you want to leave Olsen Bay, again, to do, like here, we'll do a quick flight plan into, so can we do, yeah, let's go right into O'Neill, I think. So let's take a quick picture. Yeah, but this is ADF, it's not VOR. VOR is better because you can actually, the course, you can stay on course more easily. You don't home as easily as you do with ADF systems. But VOR is more work. Jan made a VOR. You know, one of the reasons I didn't want to make a VOR was Jan already did it, so it would be like, could I improve upon it? Probably not. All right, so like this, let's say we're going to make an actual flight plan from here. So what you would do is say, okay, here's Dremore, and let's say I want to get my courses. So let's start with our courses. So we want to go from Dremore to Olsen. All right, from Olsen to Holt. All right, and then what we want to do is there's also going to be an ADF. So there are also ADFs on the airports. They don't play music, they play Morse code. So we'll go dee 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 dee, and you'll look, and it's the letters for it. So if it was, what's that, O'Neill? So ONA, let's say it's ONA. So it'd be whatever ONA is in Morse code. So you listen to the Morse code, yep, that's O'Neill. Good, we've got the course. So let's say that there's an ADF right in the field. And so our final approach course, we'll put in red. So let's say our final approach course is this, right? It's on runway heading, and it's lined up with the ADF. So what you would do is this would be your course. So you would come over here. You go to, actually, you know what we'd probably do is cut that out. Let's go. So likely, like what we'd really do in IRL is we do like this. Because the distances are super short in game. But like this is more what we would do is we'd plot the course to be like this to intercept the final approach fix like that. And let's say here, let's say the final approach fix is right, actually. Let's say the FAF is right there, okay? So what we'd actually do is we plot a course more like this. All right, well, you go to the initial. Let's say that's the initial. The final approach fix is probably down here. That's the initial approach fix. Let's say this is the FAF is down here. That makes more sense. The problem is the distances are so short in game that I'm like mentally trying to think where they'd really be, and then I have to convert them to the game. So that's the initial approach fix. All right, that's the FAF final approach fix. All right, so those are your two fixes there that we really concerned about. So we're going to essentially come out of Dremore. We want to turn on course to Olsen. Then we want to follow. Olsen has its own ADF, so we're going to follow the course outbound. And then we're going to also put in the second radio, the course here. What we can tell is we can essentially triangulate that. So we get on this course, we plug this one in, and then when this one is on the right course number, we know to turn on and head in. So this is how we do a flight plan into this airport. And so you would come out, let's go, what color do we want? Let's do blue. So you come out of Dremore, right? And you make a left-hand turn, and you want to join the course outbound out of Dremore. And at the 50% mark, we're going to switch over from Dremore to Olsen. All right, so you then grab your compass rose. All right, we put our compass rose on Dremore, and we scroll, and I got to get a bit of compass rose, but we've got 85. So 085. So we would come out of here, we'd hook the left, and we go until the needle is approaching 085. When the needle approaches 085, we turn right. It would actually be the reciprocal. If we're going to go out this way, it would be the reciprocal, so it would be 265. So that you're waiting for the needle to get around 265, then you turn, and because it's backwards behind us, if the needle is going to the right, see, if the needle goes right, we would want to go to the right. It's opposite the other way. So we would want to go to the right to have the needle come up, and to the left the needle go down. So you get on the 265 course outbound. Now it's going to be the reciprocal. It's going to be the 085 inbound to Olsen. So at the 50% mark, we'd switch over from Dremore. We'd change the frequency on a radio to Olsen. We'd then, and our heading is going to be 085. The course is going to be reading behind us at 265. And then when we hit here, we're staying on the 085 heading, and then we're on the 085 course inbound to Olsen. As we leave here, we need to figure out the new course into the initial approach fix, which is going to be, what's that, 2, 4, 6, 7. So that's going to be a 067 course to the initial approach fix. So as we leave Olsen, we need the reciprocal course, so it'll be 247. So you're going to have 247. You look down here, be 247. All right, so 247 is going to be what the needle is pointing to, and we're going to be heading on the 067. We head out there, and there's no station here, so we have to stay on this outbound course. All right, then we would plug in the, let's say the station, let's say it's right here. It's not right there, but let's say it's right there. So this would be where the ADF at O'Neill is, and that would be the, I can't read it. I'll do the math. 3, 12, 14, 16. So 316. So it would be 1. I can't see, 136. So 136 course inbound. So what we would do is we would wait until this reads 136. So as we come up here, we're waiting for the needle to get close to 136. We would turn right, and we would join this course, and we would maintain a 136 course inbound the whole way. And then we would come in and land at O'Neill. So that's how, even in pea soup, you'd be able to come in and go from here to here using very basic navigation. You know, the VOR is a lot easier in a lot of regards. It's more accurate, but it's less interactive, which, you know, part of the reason I like this stuff is it's interactive. It gives me something to do. You know, VORs aren't necessarily easy mode, but they're a lot better for maintaining your course. But it's not VOR, it's ADF. Yeah, let's see if I can find some info on ADF. Let's see if I can show you some interesting stuff on that. So automatic direction finder, ADF needle. there. So like this is what the needle looks like. It's just a compass rose, and this needle, all the needle does is it points at the station no matter where it is. So as the station goes up, the needle follows it. So the needle follows where the antenna is the whole time. That's what it does there. That's the antenna for it. That's ADF needle right there. And then we'll look at VOR in a second. I'm trying to see if there's any more. So this is showing you the distances. This is another reason why I like this system is, again, you're going to lose signal if you get too far away. It's going to get, when you go over the top of it, it's going to wig-wag like it would IRL. So as you can see, locator beacon is 15 nautical miles, low 25, medium 50, and high 75. So that's how far out you can read the stations. All right, let's see. So this is a good diagram here. So this is showing you the different orientations of the ADF. Actually, this is a really good diagram. So like if you look at this, again, the needle will always point where the antenna is. So for example, let's say that I was in my airplane and I know that the antenna, I look at the map and the ADF antenna is 1,350 feet. And I keep the needle perfectly pointing straight ahead and I perfectly follow the needle and I go in at 1,300 feet, I'm going to literally hit the antenna with the airplane. And so you will hit the antenna with the airplane because it always points at the station. And so as you can see, when you fly away, the needle will point behind you. And so when you're flying past it like this, the needle points off to the right. When you're going straight towards it like this, the needle's pointing straight towards it. When the airplane's a little bit off, you notice the needle's a little bit off. You're going straight in this way. The needle is pointing straight ahead. When you're going this way, the needle is pointing straight ahead. So that's what it will always look like. And then if you look here, this is what is it? Fly nice. FLN. So the Morse code should be FLN, and this is the frequency. So you put 326. ADFs are usually three numbers. That's why my ADF system is 3 numbers. And so, let's see. Morse code translator. All right, so so see, it's dot, dot, dash, dot. Dot, dot, dash, dot. All right. So that's all you're listening for is, why can I not find, okay, there it is. LN. All right, so if we look there, let me try to make this so we see both. You're going to be a pain in the ass, aren't you? All right, there we go. So if you look, it's dot, dot, dash, dot, dot, dash, dot, dot, dash, dot. So you can see that's all it's doing is it's giving you that. Now, you usually don't need to memorize Morse code. Like I don't know any of it off the top of my head. I don't need to because it says FLN, and you listen to it, and it shows you what the Morse is. So it will go beep, 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 and that's what it will do, and it will repeat. It keeps repeating, keeps repeating, keeps repeating, and that will give you the frequency. That will give you FLN, and you look at it, you say, yep, that's what I heard. I heard dot, dot, dash, dot, dot, dash, dot, dot, and dash dot, and that identifies that you're going to the right place. So that's how you do that. And then let's see. And then if you have DME on here, so as you can see here is 325 BFQ. That's step timer, and then I don't really need a step timer. I'm looking more for DME. DME is distance measuring equipment. That'll show you how far you are from there. Like here's an ADF in the cockpit right there. This is VORs right here. VOR is better and different. They don't like ADF was almost gone by the time I was there. So this is how the machine actually works. Let's see. So that there are problems with ADFs. One of them is homing. So like you know, let's say there's wind, like, we'll stay on this for a little while, I like talking about it. But, all right, so you can have homing problems with ADF especially. VOR fixes some of these problems, but you can still get homing problems with that. So let's say that we're trying to go from here to here, right? And so the course of the airplane is going to be, right, we're going to go on, and nobody's perfect here. Why can't I paint? Because I have to escape. All right. So you're going to come on and you're going to go like this, right? That's what it's going to really look like, right? Is you trying to stay on course. All right, now, let's say we introduce a wind. Everything you do in instrument flying is like, where's the wind? And so the wind is from here, right? So what's going to happen is if we go on here, and I forget what the course was supposed to be. Let me grab let's grab this and see again. If you stick that back on there, it is 085, I think is what it was. All right, so 085. So if we come on here, right, and again, you need to be able to make predictions. So as we come on here, that was like all I would ever ask my students is, what's your prediction? What's going to happen? So you come up here, right? So if you went right on to 085 and the wind is over here and you don't put in a wind correction, it's going to start doing this to you. You're going to get blown off course, right? So what you're going to do is start to do what's known as paralleling the course, right? You're trying to maintain a heading of 085, and you're going to parallel the course, right? Because the wind is pushing you off course. So when you come on, if you know there's, say, a 10-knot wind to your right, you don't want to go to 085. You want to go to 090. And so the airplane will actually be angled like this. But you will actually fly straight on your course because you put in a wind correction. So part of the airplane is fighting the wind and the other part is pushing you forward. So you go diagonally like that. And so these are susceptible to homing because what's going to happen is as you come up, so what homing is, we used to teach our students not to do homing, was you'd come on, right? You start to get pushed off course and you keep following the needle. So you follow the needle, follow the needle, follow the needle, follow the needle. So what it ends up looking is in an exaggerated case, it looks like this. All right, that's what it looks like because every time they get blown off the course, they turn to maintain that. So no longer are they following the 085, right? They would be going further and further south. So now they're at the 087, 8, 9, 10, you know. And so they keep following and changing their course. You're not supposed to do that. It's called homing. And instead of a nice straight line, what it looks like is this big arc. Now the problem is, let's say that up here is restricted airspace, right? So you've got restricted airspace above you. This is all restricted airspace. This is a no-go zone. Well, now, boom, the fighters come and shoot you down, right? So, and then you get into really, like, you get into two restricted airspaces. Like, imagine, you know, Kennedy Space Center has a lot of restricted airspace. Let's say that's what the map looks like. All right, these are two restricted airspaces. You're not allowed to go in there. And then this right here, this airport has its own airspace that you're not supposed to be going into, uncontrolled, you know, without permission. And so if you stay on course, that's the whole reason we have courses. You come out here, you go on there. Look, we don't go anywhere we're not supposed to. This one, you'll get blown right into restricted airspace. So that's the importance of not homing, is you will home like this, and you'll be off course. And then, like, you can also imagine, like, worst case scenarios where, for example, you have, I don't have, how do I have not a brown color? Give me some brown color here. That's not really brown, but whatever. So now, like, other even bad cases is here's a mountain range, right? You got a mountain range, and now you crash into the mountain range, you know. And so let's say there's a mountain range to the south too. So you have geographical reasons too to stay on course. So there's a bunch of reasons why you want to fly the course and not do things like homing. VORs, we'll go to VORs super quick. So like with VORs, which is, you know, what Zizo was talking about. So like a VOR is very high omnidirection and ranging. That's what it stands for. And so with a VOR, the benefit of that is, this is more old school. I'm trying to find, see some things. See what this diagram looks like here. This one might have some interesting information here. So here's your VOR right here. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put in your course, right? So we want to do the 352 course to the VOR, okay? And so what's going to happen here is you have, as you're coming into the course, right? So it's 352. So if you look at the needle, 352. All right, so you'd spin the card until you get to 352. And when the needle is straight up and down, that means you're on course. If you were to the left of the course, let's say that wind was blowing you this direction again, the needle would be to the right, telling you the course is to the right. You would then turn, say, 5-10 degrees, depending on how far off course you think you are, and you would get back on course. Now, one trick you can do to figure out your wind, like, you got off course for a reason, likely the wind, right? And so because you got kicked off course by the wind, what you can do before you get back on course, or in the process of getting back on course, so we got pushed to the course, we have the needle is a little bit off to our right. Let's say we turn 5 degrees right, and the needle stays right where it is. It doesn't go further to the left. It doesn't go further to the right. That means we've just found our wind correction is 5 degrees. So now what we want to do is we're going to turn another 5 degrees to the right, and now the needle will start coming in. And when we turn back to the right, if we look, it's 352. We know our wind correction is 5 degrees. We want to turn to a 357. So our heading will be 357, and that will keep the needle centered. As you get up close to the VOR, it's going to you get what's known as the cone of confusion. It's going to get all wiggly-waggly, and you notice the needle will go shooting off to one direction really quick because you're one side of it or you're the other. It's going to shoot off whatever side it is away from you. And so you don't want to follow it. You notice how this guy's following it? You really don't want to do that. Once you get close, like you'll see your range. If you're within like half a mile, you know it's going to flip on you. You just maintain your heading. You don't follow it. And then what it's going to do is it's going to go nuts as you go over in the cone of confusion. It's going to flick to the right, and then it's going to start to slowly come back in. You'll notice here it says 2, 2. That's because we're going to the station. Once we go over the top of it, it's going to go to from. That means we're going from the station. So we don't spin the card. And the needle does not go backwards now. In an ADF, the needle goes backwards. It's now pointing behind us, and we have to correct opposite. So it gets confusing because you actually have to correct in the opposite direction with ADF. You don't have to correct in the opposite direction with a VOR. If the needle's to the right, you still go to the right. With an ADF, if the needle's to my right, I have to go left. So that can be confusing to people. So now, once we pass cone of confusion, you notice it's from. We're still headed out on the 352, but we're on the 352 from. All right. And so if I spun this around, it would read the 172 2. All right, that would be backwards. That would be us going this way. So it's going to be the 352 from. So we don't have to spin it. The needle still works the right way. It's just the difference between to and from. So that's what that is. So 2 degrees per dot of deflection. So this will tell you how many degrees off course you are per dot. So about 2 degrees per dot. Let's see. Course deviation indicator, unreliable signal flag. The red flag will come up. So usually when you cross, you'll get a red flag for a second. To from indicator, whether you're going to the station or from. This is how you spin the card to move the card around. Like say, for example, you want to... Let's say you want to go in on the 152 course inbound to the station. You would spin this card so that it is 152. So that's what you do there. And then you can see these are the altitudes for it. But that's the difference between, we'll see you later, Zaggy. That's the difference between VOR and ADF. VOR is a lot easier for people to understand because you never have to go backwards. You do have to go backwards sometimes. You have to do it on ILS back courses, which are pretty rare, and then you have to do it on ADF stuff. And then this is what a VOR approach looks like. This is in the St. Martin. So here's St. Martin. So let's see. This has a course reversal on it. Here's a hold as well. This is what a hold looks like. Generally in the airlines, you don't screw around with entries much. You just plug it in to the FMS and it does it for you. It enters and it holds. And you generally, like, in small airplanes, you do timing. So, like, you don't need to time on the inbound course, but you need to time on the outbound course. So when you hit this point, you want to time for a minute. It should take you a minute to do your turn and straighten your wings out. So you do a standard rate turn. If you look at the turn slip indicator, if you look at the turn slip indicator right here, you're going to show me weird bullshit. Just open the image, thanks. If you look here, that's your standard rate turn. So when you're ready to turn, you would put the needle on that. That tells you you're at a standard rate turn. So you're going to turn at a standard rate, which is then going to allow you to roll out correctly. If you look on this one, that's the standard rate turn is right here. So you put your wingtip on this. That gives you a standard rate turn. And with the standard rate turn, it should take you a minute to turn around. And then once you roll wings level, you want to time this for 60 seconds. Once you hit 60 seconds, you want to do a standard rate turn around. And then because you're going inbound on the 308, you would follow the course in. And you really don't care about the distance on this one. You still time. It's helpful because that will tell you the wind. So say, for example, you have a really strong tailwind, okay? And you're coming into the hold, and you have a really strong tailwind, and this takes you 30 seconds. That tells you that you have a really strong tailwind, okay? And so what you're going to want to do is you want these legs to be, your inbound leg to be about a minute. You come around, and you know you need to go out for a minute and a half because you're fighting a headwind. Your ground speed slowed down. So you go for a minute and a half, and then you'd make your turn, and you know you're getting blown toward the station. Well, that extra 30 seconds here now makes it so this inbound is now a minute because you've added 30 seconds to your outbound into the wind, and vice versa. If this is has a tailwind, you want to cut it down. So you might turn this turn and make this 30 seconds, and then this one's a minute and a half, and that will keep it nice and even the whole way through. If the wind is over here, you know that when you turn around, you don't want to go on a 128. You want to go on, say, a 132 to fight the wind. And then when you come in here, you don't want to go to 308. You want to go to a let's say a 303 to fight the wind. So that's the difference between like more advanced stuff and less advanced stuff. Is, you know, on paper you don't need to worry about the wind. In real life, you do have to worry about the wind, but. Why would I have no desire to build a jet engine powerboat? Does not interest me. All right, let's see. So that's the whole thing with the VOR systems. I have them all. Let's quickly see what I have. I deleted a lot of stuff I don't need. Kept the ore storage, rope, shovel, climb. I think I get rid of that. Boat mooring test. A lot of these I can delete, but oh, aluminum D11. Just getting rid of the ones I don't need here. Storage facility. All right, so I'm gonna bring up I'm gonna try putting these. I'll do a test world and see if there's a problem. Yeah, because I took, like, this caused me a huge amount of lag at some point. Like one of them was glitching in the ground, so I never found out which one it was. So what I could do is run some tests. So like here I have. So like here I have, where are we at here? There are all the frequencies for all of them. So that, I can look all the freaks up and have them in there. Where are all the freaks at? All right, so let's go ahead and let's do a new one here. You won't see anything until I get going here, but so Shipbreaker is the first one. Airport Ender. Try to see what I want. Let's do military first. So here's military base. All right, so here's military base. Trying to think where I have the other one. So what I'll do too is shit. Let's do this. Let's go to the. Let's do Draymore first. We're already here. All right. Let's get rid of the fog. All right. So IRL, these stations, like, you can't put the antenna on the runway, right? Because it's going to be hit by things. So you have to put it offset, so it's actually offset a little bit IRL. ILSs are right at the end of the runway for lateral guidance, and then the glide slope is usually, I think, the right side of the runway, if memory serves. All right, so what I want to do here too is check the. I'm trying to keep these the same. Let's go in here. Let's look at this. I'm going to add in GPS coordinates. So essentially, like what I said is I cheated this system. So let's look at Draymore is 635. So if we look at 635, where the hell it is? Here's 635 right here. So this 635 is Draymore Y. So I'm going to actually enter these in. So let's see. X. So I'm going to put the coordinates in here. So it's negative 4876 is going to be Y. It's actually Z now. So it's annoying. They changed it to Z. I'm going to put it as Z. But that's what they did. X is going to be... I understand why they did it. I'm not necessarily against it, but it... Alright, so I got the coordinates for this. So I got to make sure this is correct. So let's see. All right, let's load up instead of military. Let's do Draymore. So that's in the Sawyer Islands. Let's find Draymore. Might have been in standards. I gotta look. I think it's in the standard set. Main. I think it's on main. Yep. That's Draymore's in the main island. So here's Draymore. So do I get GPS coordinates? Shit, I don't. All right. I might get them when I put this in. So like if I add a vehicle here and I do 635. Here's ADF 635. All right, I've got the coordinates. So I got to get these coordinates correct. So you put it, generally it's off the side of the runway like this. So I got to do 119 for X. Because I want it to be the same. It's not going to work right. Shit. That's a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. So the other benefit too is if you put it about 50-50 on the runway, so about halfway. So these markings are friggin' weird too, because like this is like a long approach. This is like for a much bigger runway, and then these don't have them. All these markers probably shouldn't be here. It should just be these triples because the runway's so short. But again, you know, the airport is the airport. So, you know, generally let's say we put it doesn't have to be 50-50, but let's say it's right there. All right, so something like that. One thing I could probably do, but I don't want to redo all these, is put XML underneath so it doesn't get stuck in the ground. That was one thought I had. I'll do some testing with this and see if there's going to be a problem. But it needs to be static. Let's see. Keep it invulnerable. All right, so that's going to be 635 DRE. One thing that could be cool for me to do is put audio on this. That would be interesting, but I don't know if I want to do it because I could put the Morse code. That would be kind of cool. Ooh, that would be cool, but it's a lot of work for no real reason. I could fix them later. So I'm going to have to change the GPS coordinates. But anyway, like, so this is here now. Let's go ahead and we will save this as, let's see, ADF DRE. And then it would be 635. All right, so let's go ahead and so like we tested this. You can see the shack is over there. All right, and then I need to, what we'll do is this. So here's the antenna right here. I'm trying to think how am I flipping these? Let's test something real quick. Let's spawn this. I didn't hook the antenna up. I know Katie has one. Let's do Katie did. Katie did has the old system, I think. Let me check Katie did's ADF. Yep, Katie has the old system. So Katie's got the old system, which worked, you know, does the ADF. So let's do this. I don't need the engine on, just that, thanks. Right, so it'd be 635. All right, 635. And then that needs to go to radio, heading radio. All right, 172. So if we look over there, right, and we look at Katie's heading, that's 131. And so 40 degrees to the right is the shack. All right. And that is 172. If you look, we're within half a nautical mile of it. All right. Now, if I turn the nose to the right, all right, that's one. I got to get it all the way over to 172. Let me make sure that's right. All right, there is, we'll see it in a second here, one, because it's still coming to the left, 172. And we pointed right at it. So it stopped at 178, but that's 172 is where it is. As you can see, we're still turning left just a little bit. You can see, we'll hit it in a second. And there we go, right pointing at the station. So that's how that system works. Now, if I take it off of radio or if I just change freaks, it will go to something else. But there's the radio there. It says distance of 0 because if it's less than a certain distance, I just report 0, so it's not showing decimal places. Crap. The antenna's somewhere. What I was trying to see is if I could check the antenna and see the signal strength. But let's do this and do that, because I'm trying to see a way to run both systems. Where's the antenna? Where's the antenna? So, like, for example, Katie has a... There it is, right here. Okay, the antenna's up here, so that will work. So Katie has a small antenna, so it's 20 kilometers plus 100 meters is how far Katie can reach. So Katie has a pretty short reach comparatively to some of my bigger stuff. So here, like, watch this. We go to radio. You won't be able to see it. I got to type it in anyways. It won't do anything until I put in the right freak there. Come on. All right, so there's 172 again. All right, so let's go and we'll check the... Try to read the antenna. I want to see what the signal strength looks like here. Okay, this one won't show me signal strength, not with the small one. Let's look at what this one's doing here. Yeah, see, it won't show me any signal strength. But, you know, so that's essentially how these work, is you put them, you dot them all over the map. The benefit with these is, like, I put them on these islands, and when you do a different seed, the ADF should stay with the island. So when this island moves with a different seed, the ADF stays the same. So it doesn't matter what seed you have, you still navigate to the same places. And that was kind of the big, one of the big draws to this type of system for me was that that was a big benefit. So that's why one reason why I liked it. I'd like to redo it. It would be kind of nice. Let's play with it for a little bit. I'm not going to go too far in depth with it, but it would be nice to get these back in. I really liked it. I was getting ready to release it, and then it had issues where it was causing SV environment problems. Go ahead, and I'm going to update them. Let's see. We'll grab this 635. All right, let's do this. Let's get rid of X and Y. And then we should be able to shrink this down by putting in the glorious physics sensor. Physics sensor there, okay. Let's change this. That's going to be transmit mode, radio frequency, and 2 radio. All right, let's go in here and then radio frequency 635. Okay, good. Physics sensor. It's going to be channels 1 and 3. So all this, like, this is all the guts of the system. It's super simple, too. All it's doing is the physics sensor is reporting the X coordinates and the Y coordinates. When you put in the radio frequency, then your vehicle can read what the X and Y coordinates are, and then the system inside the aircraft will then make it work. All right, and then this sends it out on the antenna. So it's really super simple. All right, and then let's see. We can get rid of this. That should be a physics flutter. I believe it is. And then let's see. So what I think I'm going to do too is I will XML edit this. You need a battery just for to make sure the electricity works. It has solar on it. It doesn't need solar on it. I'm going to get rid of those just to make it. Again, I want to keep this thing simple and running right. So it's a reasonable idea, but it's just you know, causes problems. This is what the shacks look like IRL, pretty much. Oh shit. Trying to decide if I want to put on a Morse code on this. You see. So I wonder if I run channel 2, can I put Morse code and a repeat on 2? That would be interesting to try. Let's try that. That could be interesting. So it's got a physics flutter in there. I need a physics sensor in here. Alright, and then we got to hook that up. Okay. Alright, and then one thing I was thinking of doing is putting in XML blocks so that this because what I'm afraid of is these stay static, and you don't want a hard block interacting with the ground. And so what I was thinking of doing was putting XML blocks in so that it would so that I don't have to worry about it interacting with the ground. And so let's see, what are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Do XML. See what I have for blocks here. It's a 9 by 9 right there. That's actually probably pretty perfect. No, this can be too far off the ground. Let's see. That's not too bad. I don't know. Because, you know, the whole thing is I don't want the collision touching the ground if I can avoid it. Yeah, the other thing is I could do this. And that would let me put that block in the middle there. If I go like that. Problem is painting. It's a pain in the ass to paint these. Do I have 9s? Just want a 1x9, frankly. The 1x9 would work. This one says by 9, but it's certainly not. Nine by 15, 9x9, 3x3, 5x3x3 block. That's a 9 right here. Okay. That's the one I want. Alright. Problem is this collision needs to be kind of up. Because we're still going to hit it. That's the problem. I can't separate the colors. That's kind of why I'm a little bit worried about that. What I could do is this. Let's see what I got for these 9s. I've got an idea here. This one doesn't make any sense to me. Why this one's called by 9 when it's not even a 9. Oh well. So what I could do is this. See, I can't go up against the wall because you see it will screw up the colors there. What I could do is we do that. Let's make a block here. Save this real quick at 635. Let me check my blocks again. Thought I had a 9x5, 9x15. That's not helpful. 9x9. So essentially I want a 3x9, so let's just make a block here. I'll paint this. Let's just paint it, paint the purple there. Alright, let's save this as a 9x3 block. Alright, let's go XML edit this. Again, recommend everybody make sure you back your files up. I did mine again today. I have like copious amounts of backups. I keep seeing people having issues where they lose all their builds. This is on my portable hard drive. All of these are on my portable hard drive. So let's say a week ago I had an issue with a build and I want to go back and get the version that I didn't screw up. Bingo, right there. Let alone like I lose all my vehicles. These have every vehicle I've ever made that I haven't deleted. So how's it going there, Variante? How are you? So I highly recommend people do that. That is just a lifesaver. Like, you know, I keep seeing all these horror stories of people like losing their builds. Make sure you're backing your stuff up. It really is not that difficult, and it's a big lifesaver. You imagine how miserable that would be if that happens. So just back your stuff up. It's all right. So here we are. So let's go. One of these is going to be 3. One of these is going to be 9. Let's save it and check it. All right, there, 9x3, perfect. All right, let's grab 635. The nice thing with this is once I edit 635, all I have to do to change it is go like this, change the frequency, save this over the next one. It's a piece of cake. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to bring in 9x3. All right, and then so what I'm going to do here, so I think this was the problem I was having is, again, you don't want 2 items hitting each other, ever. That's never good. That's always a problem. And so by doing this, what's going to happen is the collision is only going to be 1 block anyway, and it's never going to touch the ground. You build these so they're static, and when they're static, they won't move anyway, so they're going to float in the sky, but because it has this block that is going to be able to glitch, not glitch in the ground, but it's going to be able to look like it's in the ground because it's transparent, or it's, Jesus Christ, it looks like a block. Then you get, so for example, like right there, you notice, this all under here is not going to, you know, you're not going to see any of this. Right there, you're not going to see. It's going to be in the ground, but there's no physical block actually touching the ground, and that's going to make it so that this will look good and not cause problems. The other thought I had was going up like this in the middle. Let's try that. I might prefer that better. So this will allow me to go in the ground a little bit. I think I'm going to do this. No, I wouldn't want it that far. It would be a 3x7 then is what I'd want. Let's just do this. Let's do the original plan here. I can always change them again if I need to. See if it offends the eye when I get it in there. I didn't measure the width. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Let's redo that and try 7x3. Let's see if I have a 5x3 too. I need a 5x3. I need a 7x3. I can even go up higher too. Let's go. Let's just go with what I was going to go with. Let's do 7x3 and a 5x3. I'm just looking for a 5x3 if I made one already, so I'm not making another one. Nope. Okay. All right, so this one's going to get saved as 7x3. 5x3. I have one. Apparently I have one. No, don't overwrite shit. Just open it. I have a 5x3. All right. I just need to make the 7x3. All right, so let's go in. There's a 7x3 right there. Alright, so now we can use these XML blocks so that, you know, I know most of you probably know at this point, but like if you look at this block, right, it looks like it's 5 by 3. The only collision there is right here. As you can see, I can put a block there. Everywhere else, there's no collision, just there. And so because of that, I can put all of this into the ground. It will look like the blocks are touching the ground, i.e. it's not floating in the world. But then there's nothing with a collision actually trying to collide through the ground, which could cause lag, and that's why I'm doing this. You know, so that's why I'm doing this, is for that particular reason. So let's, we should have the two things we need. Let's grab 635. Yep, cloud's one thing you can do. I tend not to like to do things in the cloud, so it's... I don't tend to do it, but if you don't mind doing it, that's perfectly fine too. Alright, so what we're going to do is grab these blocks. Let's do 5 by 3. Having a good naming scheme too helps a lot to find this stuff. So like that right there is gonna be this is no collision sticking out, none. All right, and then the next one we're gonna do here is a 7. Seven by 3 here. All right, and we'll merge these up. And that's because it's touching the face. I gotta fix that. So you can see because it's touching the face, it's making it like this. So I gotta fix it. So actually they should all be, that's a 5 by 3. I did measure it right, and then I put the wrong blocks in that I didn't need. Let's see, 5 by 3. Nope. I measured them right. I just grabbed the wrong block. I went back to my 9s, which I'd abandoned doing. So, there we go. Let me see if these are faces are gone now. They are. Shit, I gotta fix this. Yeah, that's because they're touching the face. It's gonna do that shit. Do posts, because I have some bases they need to be posts anyways, so I'm trying to decide if I want to do posts or not. Let's go like that. Let's do posts instead anyway, because I got a couple bases that I want on posts, so. How the hell is that not merging? Alright, so those are all visual now. Those look good. Alright, let's go ahead and we will color swap them out. There we go. That looks good. Alright, so let's try that, because now this is a collision, this is no collision. So as long as we leave the bottom of the post in the ground, it is not going to collide with anything. So that is helpful. Well, let's do 635. Let's try putting in the Morse code. How the hell am I going to get a Morse code in here? I think. Do I bother with Morse code? This is going to be a pain in the ass. It's not bad to send. I can just send it out on channel 2. I'm trying to think what the best, easiest way for me to make Morse code is. I'm trying to think. So it's a three letter identifier. This is the other problem is like right now it's easy to change the frequency. I just click on the box here like this and I change that and I've got it. The problem is the Morse code is gonna be a pain in the ass. I'd have to put the entire Morse code library and I'd have to attach it to a letter. I'd have to put in the letter, which we don't get letters, so then I'd have to have it convert out to numbers. So I have to put in the number. So DRE would be, 3, whatever R and E are. And then it would play the Morse code based on that, but I'd have to put in the entire Morse code library. So at this point right now, I'm not interested in doing that. It's going to be a bunch of work for not all that much interest. All right, so let's go back to the add-on editor and let's stick this in there. Alright, so like this is where I think some of this problem is coming on. You can see this is potentially going to be interacting with a collision of the ground. And so what we'll do is we'll put 635 in the new one. And now I can kind of keep this where it still looks pretty good, but it doesn't have the issue with colliding with the ground, which could cause SV environment problems like they were doing before. And that's not what I want. So I'm trying to line that up with the runway, and then I want to look at it. So what we'll do is we'll grab it, and we'll put it so that the posts are just in the ground like that. That way we know that there's no collision actively in the ground, which could potentially cause problems. So that looks, I like the look of it, it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and we will, so we want to go is static so it doesn't move, yes. Editable false, show on map is false, transponder active false, and then invulnerable, let's do yes. This is 635. All right, and let's go ahead and save that. Alright, so there it is. So now it looks good, it looks fine. It shouldn't have any collision problems now. Because those are touching, essentially no collision is touching the ground. Because no collision is touching the ground, it shouldn't cause any sort of problem. Because there's a physics flutter in there, which minimizes, like this whole middle section is one blue block that cuts down on any potential, like it has some subgrids on here, but it's like, as you can see, or not even subgrids, but it has, that's what it looks like. It's pretty minimal, and you can see that those blocks aren't touching anything. Like it could even come down more if I want it to, which let's drop it down real quick. Drop it down just a little bit more, because those collisions are not touching the ground right now. All right, so make sure nothing's touching. Yep, nothing's touching the ground as far as I can see. Alright, so that should not have any sort of interaction with the ground where it's like glitching out on the ground. We're still at, why are we at 55 is the question. So let's see if it's causing problems. Where is SV environment? I can't find it. Oh, is SV environment? Where the hell is it? Did they change it to a different name? Why the hell can't I find it? I thought maybe it's that s.e, and they did. I think it's s.envd now. Maybe I just forgot, but that's showing nothing. Why are we at 54 frames? That's worrying me. So we're at 54 frames now. Let's go. Let's teleport and see if that is causing an issue. "53 frames." Okay. And let's close that. Okay. Can't see with this F2 menu, F1 menu up. Okay, let's bring it up now. Oh, you know what it was? I had the F2 menu up. That's not a good test. Okay, so now we have 61 frames, 62 frames back. That's what it was. I had the F2 menu up. Let's go ahead and let's test the location. Okay, we got 62, so it's not negatively affecting. If I go F2, that drops it down because it's debugging everything. Got you. That was what it was. I forgot I had that open when I tested it. So we're at 60. Okay, we went down to 32 in the map. I would say the map is probably just limited to 30 FPS. Probably just a game thing. Because you don't need it. Like, you're just looking at a map. You're looking at a flat plane, JPEG probably. Why would you need to look at that at 90, 100 frames? You don't. Right, so yeah, we're at 62, so there's no issue with this one yet. I think this is going to be the way to do it because what was happening last time was it was interacting with the ground, I think. And again, you put an object and you glitch it through the ground. That was what the devs... Let's look real quick at the latest patch notes people don't read. Like, if you look at the bug fixes here, like, it's not in this one, but this one here should have it. Let's see. Right here. AI mission, vehicle spawning in floor. That is huge on performance. You hear a lot of people that say, after a while, my world just slows to a crawl. That's usually what it is. It's an AI mission. You have a vehicle stuck in the floor, and it is freaking out because the floor is supposed to be hard, solid, unbreakable. You take a block, which is hard, solid, unbreakable. It can do that thing where it visually changes, but it is essentially unbreakable. So you're putting two unbreakable things in the same spot. The game doesn't know what to do, and it starts vibrating and causing a lot of fast motion, which then cuts down FPS. You know, we can test that out real quick here. So, like, let's go back in. All right, let's go. Edit objects. All right, let's just grab a build, small build. The car that everybody on Big Man's thing hates. Because they're rude. All right, so now that's glitched 50% through the ground, right? All right, we're going to make it so that it is not static. All right, and we're going to save it real quick. We'll just, here, let's save it as... All right, so see, you've got a car 50% through the ground. All right, so that is not great. It's probably, it looks like it's not doing too much now, but if we put some stuff with collisions, like, I don't know, the doors in there that move, let's try that. Let's put it where the doors are actually, because you see the doors are still able to close. Let's put it where the doors will actually interact with the ground now. And see what it does. Alright, so see how it's freaking out? See how it's vibrating? Okay. It's freaking. All right, now if we turn on damage, now watch. You know, we potentially could get a bunch of lag off of that as it, you see it's starting to go down. We're losing frames right now. We're down about 10 frames. I'll lower the volume so that you don't have to listen to it so much. But you can see we're down to 45 frames and we're still dropping. So like when they talk about, like, you know, this is often the problem that you have with games where, again, like, you can't quote-unquote fix this. This is some, like, you can fix the thing that's causing it, but you can't change the fact that you have something that is glitching into the ground or glitching. 2 blocks trying to occupy the same space is always going to cause lag pretty much every game you have, unless you engineer something in there that is intentional for that, you know. Like we're down to 50% of the frames we used to have. We're still going down because of this one vehicle in the floor. And so you imagine, you know, it's certainly a game problem, and it's certainly a valid criticism people had that these things were happening. And as you can see, the devs have been working to try to fix them. So by getting these AI missions out of the floor, this is why it's a huge deal, is because you can see how we're at 50% frames of normal. We're less than that. We're still dropping frames. So when people say, "Oh my God, my game is now unplayable, slow-mo," you kind of have to go find where it is and do a bug fix, because, like, you know, you can see there's probably 1,001 reasons why, you know, a mission would accidentally get stuck on the ground. You know, one thing is they had issues where missions were duplicating. And so I'll show you like what a duplicated mission looks like. That was another thing that the devs fixed recently. Okay, there it is. Physics end is high. I'm checking through the list here. SV tick 3 is very high. So, you know, one thing, if you're going to do bug reports to the devs, try to come in here and, like, look at what is actually very high, because they would know what these are a lot better. So, like, if you have a PHYEND that's high, put what it's averaging. Like, it's averaging somewhere around 9. SV tick 3 is very high. That's at 36 average, I would say. So you put SV tick 3 and this are there. They'll always ask you for a copy of your save. Give them that. The reason they want the copy of your save is the copy of your save will show the vehicle that is the culprit, and they can find, is it one that we've put in there? Is it one that you've put in there? For example, if you're using an add-on and you give them the save and they can look in your file. Let me see if I can have a save file up. Yeah, I have a scene file. Right here, they can see all the add-ons you put in. So if they see you have an add-on and they find that the add-on is stuck in the ground, well, that's the add-on developer needs to fix that. So the person who made the add-on made the mistake. They put the add-on in the ground. They need to fix it. It's not the dev's fault. It's theirs. So like right now, it looks like SV tick is the biggest culprit. So like if you said SV tick 3 is causing this problem, the devs might know off the top of their head, oh crap, that's probably a vehicle in the ground problem. If you give them your save file, they can look at your save file and see, wow, this guy's got 408 add-ons on his game. It could very well be one of the add-ons. And then they might come back, have you checked all your add-ons? Make sure your add-ons aren't having a problem, because that is something you should be doing. I would much rather the devs work in the game than them trying to fix somebody else's add-on. That's nonsense, right? The person who made the add-on should be fixing their add-on, you know. But you see, we're down to 15 frames. So, like, when this stuff happens, you can imagine it's easy to blame the game. Oh, my God, the game is... It's not necessarily. Like, when those missions were in the ground, absolutely. It was something the devs did. It's their job to fix it. But if it's something you do, it's your job to fix. If it's an add-on that you added, it's between you and the add-on developer. Now, if you look, we left there. We're back up to 62 frames because all of that has despawned. All right, it's despawned. It's no longer in the world. It's no longer taking up resources, right? If we get, let's see how close we have to get for it to spawn back in. So let's try right here. So we're at 62 frames right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a flyby. And we're going to do a no clip in there. And you'll see when we get to Draymore that none of that spawned in. Look at the ADF. The ADF is not there, and the car is not there. Okay? Now, this is what I think happens. If I were to guess, this is what happens with the fuel pumps. If you look, where are the fuel pumps? They're gone. The fuel pumps are a vehicle. All right. The vehicle despawns in the same way that the vehicle over there despawns, so that when you're far away, you're not having the problem. Now, the reason why the pumps are despawned right now is I'm not here. I'm still back there. If we look, wherever the hell my character was, I've got a friggin' reflective vest on. How can I not find myself? Right here. Here I am. So there I am. I'm still here. I'm not over there. So that's why, if you look, none of that stuff spawned in. The pumps aren't spawned in, the car's not spawned in, the ADF's not spawned in, and my body is not here. When I press home, I now teleport to here. There's the car, and there's the ADF, and there are my pumps. So if I were to guess, I would say part of the issue with the pumps disappearing that a lot of people are having is it's something to do with this, is when you come in, that vehicle needs to spawn back in. Now, I don't know if it's an innate game problem or it's that person's PC problem. I lean more towards that person's PC problem, because likely what's happened is the vehicle spawns back in, your computer, like, you see how quickly it happened. It happens like in less than a second. Your computer has to read that information. It has to then spawn a vehicle in, essentially through the add-on system. That's what I would say is probably happening, is these are probably add-ons that are hard-coded into the game, and then they spawn into the game. And so that's likely what you're having to do. If you notice, now we're down to 30 frames because we're having to deal with that car in the ground. So likely when you get far enough away, it's going to go away, and then you come back. So as you get close to, like people say, oh, when I get close to a port, my game slows down. Yeah, it could be one. If it's something the devs put in that is glitching into the ground, that is their fault. They need to fix it. If it's an add-on you put in the game, one, it's your choice to put the add-on in. Two, it's the person who built the add-on who needs to fix it if it's causing a problem. Like if this was my add-on I published car in ground, you know, it's my job to fix that. And you can see how detrimental it is to the game environment to have that. You know, I did a lag test. So, like, you know, it's the same category, but like here, if we took the car, and just delete it for now. Let's grab another version of the car. Again, you take the car, right? And you take another version of the car. You know, so one of the things the devs fixed recently was duplicating missions. So this is what a duplicating mission looks like, is you have the mission spawning twice, right? The cars are in the exact same spot when you spawn them, right? And so let's get rid of that. Let's save this. So now you can imagine there's going to be a lag fest because you have two cars inside of one another. And you notice we're down frames. So that was one of the problems that the devs were having was you had missions spawning. There were duplicate missions. And so you can see how detrimental that is to how the game runs when you have two vehicles. So the best thing you can do if you want it fixed is you got to find it and report it and have your save file. So put your save file, put all that stuff in there so the devs can quickly look at it and say, you know, hey, I found a mission. It's spawning two cars. You know, it looks like duplicate missions. The cars are glitched into each other. Here's a screenshot. And, like, this is a perfect screenshot. It shows SV tick is high, physics end is high. It shows all the issues you're having, and it shows where it is, and the devs can just quickly say, oh, crap, that's this mission. Up here in the code, it's spawning two of the missions instead of one of the missions, and so they need to delete one of those spawns, and bingo, it fixes it. So, you know, that can be some of these problems, but again, the better you can make your bug report, the better it's gonna, and more likely it's gonna get fixed. You know, but that's why it's so detrimental when those things happen, like missions spawning in the ground. You see how big of a problem that is. Missions duplicating, that is a huge problem with lag. And, you know, the best thing you can do is help them deduce it. Like, if you can get onto the map and see, like, for example, if you were having problems with the pumps and you could see them glitching around and vibrating, that would tell you that, hey, likely there's a problem where this is... you know, interacting. You can show the devs, hey, this is a screenshot of the pumps at Draymore are vibrating. Likely they're colliding with something. The devs can then maybe, I don't know, move it 2 inches to the left, and then it stops doing that. It's fixed. You know, so that sort of stuff is always helpful. But, yes. Let's see if I want to work on anything else. I might switch up and play some Ark, I'm thinking. Let's go through builds real quick and just see what's up. But did some good stuff yesterday. Made some progress on Alstiers. I'm starting to feel stormworks again. Still, like, not really feeling too much of a boat build, but I have to do the boat build for the challenge, so we'll get working on that. But ADF stuff got me interested again. I really like this fish finder buoy. That's kind of a cool idea, I think, for the pot fisher. We got the VTOL cargo plane is working very smoothly. That's good. The orange helicopter is working very smoothly now. So some of the builds that were kind of making me slap my head against the table are kind of done. So that's good. I'd like to get back into some career games, but I got to get this boat kind of finished up for the challenge. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll probably stream some Ark in a little bit if you're interested, so keep an eye out for that. If you like the video, make sure you like the video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you have Amazon Prime and you do not subscribe to anybody, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch per month. That way you don't have to watch me with ads. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.